to try to inform the community about everything about elections, and we'd love to have the opportunity to formulate a little presentation to give to the schools and then possibly other groups in the community if it's a success.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any other student presentations? Well, I have to say, well, first of all, let me turn over to the board. Any comments, questions from the board?
I just want to say that was great. Thank you so much. You guys did a fabulous job, and we appreciate your participation and your willingness to continue to participate.
Anybody else?
I'd just like to say some of you youngsters I do know and some I don't. I'm really impressed by the ones I know. You really lived up to the great reputation you have within the Blindbrook community. And the ones I don't know, your families and your schools should be really proud of you too. You all made really excellent presentations, and I think Professor Tobin did a great job with you.
Okay. Had a great time earlier speaking to some of the participants and their families, and Professor Tobin. It was great speaking with you, and just to see the excitement and to hear the enthusiasm, as Ali just mentioned, to keep this program going, and the benefit that it will have for the communities and for the generations going forward. And I'm really excited, and even more excited to see the turnout and the support that this program has. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
I think it was phenomenal, outstanding. I just had a question. The two recommendations. Do you think that the people were sincere when they said they don't feel they have enough information? Because this is a pretty sophisticated electorate here, and there is a lot of information in newspapers, and there's a lot of direct mail that campaigns do to educate voters. So I guess my question is, what did the people think would be the most effective way to reach them with the information? Is it newspapers, radio, TV, direct mail? And B, do you think that was more of an excuse for not voting as opposed to a reason for not voting? Well, I wanted the students to go over there. Thank you, though.
Any of the students that are here want to raise their hand, or anybody have a thought on that? Please. Maybe you guys could just come up to the mic. I think otherwise we won't be able to hear you at home. Yeah, go ahead. In fact, why don't the four people presenting come on up to the mic? That's not you, Goldie, sorry.
I think that it's more than an excuse. I mean, for a few people it might be an excuse that they're not well informed enough, because obviously everyone tries to do all they can to get information out to the community. But just because such an overwhelming number of people said that was a problem, I think it's something that's valid and something that should be addressed, because not all those people were using it as an excuse, maybe a couple, but not all of them. And as for the way of communicating, I think maybe we talked about emails. I know that there are things sent in the mail, but sometimes people throw those out. So I think that maybe email is something that's lasting and something that'll stay. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I actually have a different opinion. I think that they are excuses because as you said before, it's clear that there are a lot of different forms of people getting the information. So I think it's more of either lack of care or just people not understanding the importance of voting. Like, for an example, our last question was, what can government do to make people more likely to vote? And a lot of people said lower taxes. And that didn't really answer the question, because that's something that you should vote more if... Like, you should vote for the person who's going to lower taxes. What? Okay. I think that we should just, as I said before, just try to stress the importance and try to figure out new ways of stressing why voting is so important.
Charlie, you're Portchester High School? Are you Portchester? Yeah. No.
In a sense, I kind of agree with Eric was saying, how it could be like an excuse. Because if you think about it, if it's also a challenge people face, it kind of shows that some people don't see the importance of voting, but also shows that some people do, and they're taking the challenge to go go out of the way to vote like during the week or like at night, like when they come home from work and stuff. So I think it's showing that some people really do care. So like we need to figure out like what makes people care, what makes people like not care, and try to address that maybe. And like one of the things like we were talking about, like with the Obama campaign, they like did stuff where they like had ads online and stuff, which like locally I haven't seen ads online, which I guess would be like harder to do, but like maybe try to be like innovative, use stuff like the internet rather than just like typical mail and stuff like that to maybe get like the younger voters.
Thank you.
Well, I think that it is an issue, but I know that there are a lot of things out there that are trying to educate the people, and I think it takes an effort on behalf of like the voters to actually want to know what's going on. They want it like handed to them, and I know like the League of Women Voters gets out the message. Just means that you have to go to the debates and you have to go and you have to find out, but I think it's also a lack of information creates a lack of interest, so people don't find it important to go.
Thank you, Sage. Did you want to say something? Please. Could you just state your name? You're Portchester also, right?
Yep. Portchester. My name is Catherine. I think we should provide the information in Spanish because we're a very diverse community, and I'm Hispanic also. Like, I know my parents, they don't understand the language, and like for all the little elections in the towns of Portchester, there should be information in Spanish because that would increase the amount of voters.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a wonderful suggestion. Any other questions, comments from the board? Town Attorney Noto?
No, thank you.
Well, I wanted to, the first thing I want to do is thank the Portchester School District. This is an innovative program. It's a pilot program. I specifically want to thank Dr. Carlisle, Dr. Combs, the guidance counselors from Portchester High School. They really stuck their necks out. They really put a vote of confidence in the town, building community bridges, and Professor Tobin. And I really want to thank them for doing that because without their support, this program wouldn't have happened. The second thing I want to thank is our partner in this project, Building Community Bridges. Dave Thomas and Jack Sakara spent tireless hours working with the kids, facilitating the program. Professor Tobin coming in and out from Duke, they were a constant presence here. They gave up a couple of their weekends helping the students get out and knock on doors in a safe fashion. So I want to thank Mr. Zakara and the President of Building Community Bridges, Dave Thomas, for all their hard work. I really want to thank Professor Tobin. I went to Portchester High School, and I got to tell you the truth, my goal in life was to go to Duke University. And I got rejected. I don't think I told Professor Tobin that, but I got rejected, and so I couldn't celebrate any basketball wins, or I even went so far as to go to the Duke basketball camp, and they still rejected me. But that being said, I think to have a professor of the quality of Professor Tobin from the quality university like Duke to come and work with our students is just an absolute wonderful opportunity. And he really took it. He was the one that showed the initiative. He contacted us, thanks to Mr. Hubert. He contacted us and really proposed to come up and do the program. And he did it for effectively pro bono. He really donated his time to make this project happen because of his commitment to diversity, because of his commitment to America and his ideal of America. So I really want, we give Professor Tobin a round of applause. And finally, I want to thank the students. Obviously, none of this would have happened without the students. The thing that encouraged me more than anything, when we first interviewed the students, they were enthused about the idea of getting involved in their community. And I thought, well, just what a change from what we all too often see in our community, where we only have 30% voter participation, where people are unfortunately all too turned off. And for the students to embrace their community, to embrace their community with their idealism, their energy, and their